a Netflix original film.
The Wi-Fi isn't working.
In the event of a global communications breakdown, do the following. Stay inside.
What just happened here is happening everywhere.
Avoid strangers.
We've all been deserted.
I don't trust them.
And most importantly, do not panic. Julia Roberts.
What happens next?
Mahershala Ali.
I knew something was coming.
Leave the World Behind. Rated R. Now playing only on Netflix.
I want to let you know about a podcast coming out of Las Vegas with 3 gifted performers, Matt Donnelly, Paul Mattingly, and Jacob Smith. Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social is a totally fun ride with insider looks at our entertainment scene. Today on CityCast Las Vegas, we're going to play an episode from their podcast where I'm the one who lands in their comedy churn, and while I was there, I even got to score my dream interview with Nicolas Cage. But, maybe it was just a dream. To hear the full episode, head on over to heyscoops.com. It's Saturday, December 16th. I'm Dayvid Figler, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about.
It's that time of the show. This is the time of the show where we thank the ice cream truck drivers. Thank you, ice cream truck drivers. We don't have a new list yet because it's the first of the month, but I'd like to send a special thank you out to all the people who are the ice cream truck drivers over at preachingfun.com. Preachingfun.com, that is where you can go to sign up to be an ice cream truck driver. Who knows? The life you save may be your own.
Probably be your own.
I mean,
I imagine the first life you'd save would be your own.
Gotta save your own first.
Like even on the airplane, they tell you to put the thing over your head, your face first,
and then kick the child.
Yeah,
yeah, because you don't want that child breathing that precious oxygen.
You get yourself, and then you wrap the second mask around the dead child.
Ice cream social?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Because that gets rid of the liability.
That's right. I was following directions.
Truth is, once those masks are down, it's kiss your ass goodbye time.
That's it. That's what we know. We don't know if anyone's successful with a mask on themselves first.
No, right. You never will. You never will.
I've had those masks fall, never for a good reason.
It's time for Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social. Sitting across from me in Pittsburgh is Paul Mattingly.
Across from me in Vegas, that's Mr. Matt Donnelly.
And over there, the knobs and dials, Jacob, the audio guy.
Oh, I love that guy. We're preaching fun.
With us in the churn today, a haughty-tawdy journalist about town.
Yes.
Dayvid Figler from CityCast Las Vegas is here.
Hey, that's the first time anyone's ever called me a journalist, so I'm going to cherish that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Tell everyone now, Christmas is coming. You'll be like, I've been called the journalist at least once.
And I'm going to wear it. It's my pride badge.
So CityCast, how long have you, because CityCast is new to this city.
Yeah, CityCast Las Vegas is a network of locally produced local content podcasts daily. Mm-hmm. Las Vegas went online soft in, April of 2022. We went daily in July of 2022. So we're about a year and a half in. We're about to hit our 400th episode.
Nice.
That's pretty exciting.
Well, yeah. I mean, you guys are well over 1,000, so you know what that's like.
Well,
but those 400 days are the best.
Yeah, that first
That's
400.
the honeymoon phase.
We love that 400 phase. Some of our best work is done.
We've been slogging through ever since.
We're still climbing that hill. But yeah, no, so we've been doing that for a while. We had a different co-host for a bit. Then I was solo for a while, and now we're introducing, starting in December, a new co-host.
I knew that you guys were looking for a new co-host because a few people forwarded me the job listing.
Yeah.
And I laughed and said, you have listened to my podcast. Yes. You've listened to if they do any background check, I'm not going to get that job.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're chaos adverse, although I try to push that as best I can. But yeah, no, I mean, we got a lot of applicants for that job. I think not just because it does pay well, but it's a great part of being part of your community in a lot of ways. And we are all over the place. We do stuff from, food and culture to politics to just, who are the interesting people. Well, that's what I was going to ask is,
do you have like a scope or a specialty or like a
Vegas, Las Vegas is the specialty. We will talk about any component of Las Vegas that we could think of.
And then you're just part of CityCast Las Vegas and you figure it all together?
Yeah. So it's a big team. Our executive producer, Sonia Cho Swanson. We have a lead producer, Layla Mohammed.
They're listening, so slow down and say their names. They're going to check this out.
Sonia Cho Swanson,
there
the best executive producer.
There's Sonia.
Layla Muhammad.
Layla. Give it up for Layla.
Our newsletter editor is a guy well known to Vegas readers, a fellow named Scott Dickensheets.
Boo.
Oh, come on. How do you hate Scott? No one could hate Scott. He's the nicest fucking. Anyway, he does our newsletter that goes out every day.
We just thought we'd just spot hate.
Yeah, no, why not
for
spot
no
hate Scott?
reason.
Well, Scott could take it. He's been around. No, he used to, in the 90s, he was at The Sun, and he's been at The Weekly and at the Desert Companion, and he writes about arts and culture. He's a good guy.
And so when you...
And then our new co-host, Sarah Lohman. I don't want to...
Sarah Lohman.
Hey,
We love her so much better than Scott.
Yeah,
Love
she's
her.
amazing.
Doesn't take much, but she's great.
Yeah,
She's fantastic. She's a New York Times notable author.
Wow.
She writes about food history. But
So she's overqualified.
She's
for the
very
job,
over.
is what
She's
you're saying.
extraordinarily overqualified. I mean, especially
The
compared
interview
to me.
was like, Sarah, why are you slumming it up here? What's going on?
She's like, it pays good.
All right.
Yeah.
And so when other CityCasts exist and you want to take some CityCast here, like what do you look for first? Like, what do you think is the definitive of our city versus other cities?
Well, we really just have two questions. Why this subject? Why now? Right?
Okay.
We're just looking for a time hook, something that's happening in Las Vegas. So, I mean, it could really be anything. We do like to do a lot of food episodes, like what's the latest things happening in the food community. And when we do get like politicians are willing to come on and we talk about what the pressing issues of the day are. So we've had
And what they're going to eat.
and what they're going to eat.
Right.
Well, actually, it's funny because we had Jackie Rosen on, who I know from my past. She's our United States Senator, and all she wanted to do was talk about my grandmother's 3-bean casserole.
Okay.
So we did talk about that 3-bean casserole.
Is that on the ballot?
Well, I will tell you this.
Because I believe in the Constitution, they only guarantee 2 beans.
2 beans.
And so they want to make sure we get the 3 beans.
If you could get that third
Well, I mean, there
bean
was
in.
the 2.5 bean compromise back in the 1800s.
Well,
But I
no
mean,
one-
yeah.
We don't
one
like talking about that. It was a dark era.
Third
Because
bean
then
in
people
every
started
pot.
using... Then people started using lima beans for the half bean, which is really the size of a regular other bean.
That's right.
It was very controversial.
It
Lime
wasn't a
kidney bean.
3/5 bean casserole.
All welcome
Thank
to
you for
enjoy
really
it.
hitting that nail right on the head for me, Paul. I kind of alluded to it, but
We're
you
fighting
brought
around
it back
it.
around.
Fighting around it. But we actually, Scott ran the my grandma's recipe in the newsletter too. So
He
that was
did?
kind of fun. Yeah, of course. he did.
I was about to say, in defense of our senator, it might be. Is it that amazing? It might be that amazing.
It's very vinegary. I remember
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm down to try
Well,
it.
we have a lot of British listeners
make
who
your
will
wrist
dive
a
right into that.
yes.
They love the vinegar.
No, Grandma did her best.
You heard me, British people.
You people.
Nice. So we're just like kind of looking. We do a lot of hot topic stuff. So we've done a bunch
store?
about the Sphere, about F1. We had Jonathan Jostle.
Where are you on the sphere? Where are you on the sphere right now?
I'm enjoying all the international attention and reading all the stories about other people's takes of it.
I find it like it's one of the first things people ask me about when I go talk to anyone who doesn't live here.
Immediately in the culture conversation of
Yes.
it was on Saturday Night Live. They made a reference a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I have people that I haven't spoken to in years that are writing me
How's that
saying
Sphere?
like, what's up with the Sphere?
Have
Also,
you gone
how
yet?
are you?
Yeah, have you gone yet? What's it like?
It's like, we don't do that
was like,
here.
yeah.
We live here. We go when we get comps.
They're going to sell it when it fails financially. They're going to sell it.
Yeah.
Right. I think that what is it called? The LVCVA? What's it called?
LVCVA, Convention and Visitors Authority.
Should buy it because it is basically just always capturing the zeitgeist of Vegas in global projection form.
It's so much better than the trucks that drive down the strip
Yes.
advertising strippers. You got one spot to do it all.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, why aren't we advertising strippers on the Sphere?
I'm not yet. Just wait. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
What we should do is do that. We should bring the Sphere up and down the strip. We should just put it on like drones maybe or something like that.
I will say we talked about there's a writer from The Atlantic who had a really hot take on it, just saying that this is clearly based on a Ray Bradbury dystopic future story where the entertainment center eats the children. But the title, did you get the title of that piece?
No.
It was called Sphere and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh,
right there for
that's
everybody.
pretty
Yeah,
great.
there it is.
It was
There it
hanging
is.
the whole time. I'm disappointed in us.
Low
Yeah,
hanging.
I am too. I'm very, very disappointed in us.
This is the third most disappointed I've been in us today.
So when you say you've been reporting on the Sphere, what are you, because they put on YouTube and then they have a movie.
So we try to come up with cool angles. So we found a photojournalist whose shots became pretty well circulated for like what's it?
Bloomberg?
Bloomberg, right? And her name's Their name is Michaela Whitmore.
Michaela Whitmore, everybody.
Michaela Whitmore,
Gotta give it for Michaela.
amazing photojournalist. Anyway, they took a shot that became almost instantly iconic, and so we talked to them about where's the best angle to get that MSG sphere or the sphere or whatever.
Okay.
Like if you want to shoot it, and then like some pro tips, but then also as a Las Vegas local, someone who grew up here, what's your take on it? You're out there shooting, and so she was talking about being on the rooftop, waiting for the right shot, the aperture and all that stuff. So that was kind of a fun episode.
Does she agree that the roof of the Wynn parking garage, is that her spot?
She had a spot up on Howard Hughes in the complex over there.
Yeah.
And then immediately after that story
like
came
office
out,
buildings. Yeah, that's tougher. That's tougher for the public to get to.
Well, they actually started charging to go up in that area after the episode aired. So we apologized on our next episode to all the people who just got fucked over because
How much was it?
It was like it went from $10 to $20 to get up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm literally about to say if it was $10, I actually don't. That's fine.
Yeah.
I actually think
And they doubled it.
Yeah, but then going to 20, it's like now you want to be an actual attraction. You're an office building,
Right.
But we talk about like the bankruptcy and all the news that surrounds it, and we talked about the billionaire who owns it, Dolan, and he had some difficulties with like surveillance at the Madison Square Garden in New York.
Yes,
and he was basically targeting his enemies and wouldn't let them in the building to go see games and stuff.
Charles Oakley.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about the Charles Oakley thing. Yeah.
Famously, Charles Oakley was a very famous Knicks player and Bulls player or whatever. He talked shit to Dolan, and then Dolan wouldn't let him in the building.
Wild. Yeah. Well, I mean, so many passes, you guys know, go through Las Vegas. I mean, Las Vegas is in a lot of ways an epicenter of a lot of conversations. And so we try to tap into those and we have fun with it. Definitely.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing you've been talking about lately? I just listened to one where you talked with the CEO over at the Plaza.
Yeah, I was
that's
mentioning
a recent
that.
one.
Yeah.
That was a very good one.
That was huge. That got a really big response because Jonathan Jossel, who's the CEO of Plaza Hotel, just told it like it is. He's like, F1, great spectacle, enjoyed the race. I went there. I sat in front of the Bellagio. I had the best time ever. Friggin' sucked for downtown. Worst weekend we've had in 4 years, he said.
Yeah, it's as I've said before on the show, F1, this city is meant to host every event. It is not meant to host one event.
Yeah, that's the whole point. He had some really good suggestions on moving forward. He's like, look, by year 10, maybe they'll figure it out and we'll all be like, it was worth it.
Yeah.
But we got to do some things between now and then. So he was very honest, very frank, and a lot of people respond to that really well. That was a lot of fun. Traffic is always a friggin' great topic. Sure. We've got this guy. Well, every now and again, Scott Robin will come on Vital Vegas, and he'll talk about whatever bullshit he's like talking about at the moment, and it can be fun. It can be fun.
I can't have more journalists talking shit about other journalists on this podcast. We can't.
No, I'm not talking shit about him. I enjoy Scott as a guest on my podcast. He is fantastic because he's also one of those guys that doesn't just give a care about what he says.
That's right.
He will go out there. And that makes for good listening, I think.
Yeah.
We had this guy named Ray Delahunty. He's known as City Nerd. He's a traffic guy, but he's really funny and droll.
Yeah.
And he's just basically, I said, Ray, tell us about these boring tunnels, these Elon Musk Teslas driving under Las Vegas.
Right.
Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And he goes, they have pretty lights.
All right.
Okay.
All right. You heard it here first. CityCast breaking it nationwide.
Pretty lights.
So he couldn't think of one nice thing to say about it other than it's got pretty lights. He's like, it's a white elephant for Las Vegas.
It is silly.
It's not in any conversation of
it's
actual
one car at a
transportation.
time.
I keep forgetting about
30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Not even 30 miles an hour. It's like 25 miles an hour, slowly and dangerously in a one-lane hole.
I'm thinking about it right now. What would be an
Taxis
interesting
underground? What?
Yeah, an interesting solution to this. If you dug the tunnels and then you put some sort of train system in those tunnels, like a subterranean trainway.
Yes. Wow. I think it should be called a Terranian train.
Oh, I like it.
Terranian train.
I like it.
Terrain.
And
just spell with more R's.
Yeah.
I say
I like
fill
that.
it with some kind of
Undercarriage.
fluid and you learn how to hold your breath and just swim. Use it as a swimming pad.
I'm taking the Abyss to work tonight.
I was going to say, what if we just use the abyss fluid that you can
I'm
breathe?
thinking more Poseidon Adventure and just Shelley Winters.
Paul, you brought
bobbing.
up last episode that Ed Harris won't talk about the Abyss, and I read the blurb on that.
Yeah.
And they straight up needed to film a scene with him.
Yes!
With a helmet full of fluid.
Oh, Ed Harris?
Yeah. They had to have him hold his breath and then fill it with fluid. And then when he called for, made the signal for, money out of here, they took a minute.
Yeah.
They, didn't get him out right away.
Oh, and they put the breathing apparatus on upside down. He was literally flailing.
They should have just used the breathable fluid. I don't know why they didn't just use the actual breathable fluid that they were discussing.
Why didn't the aliens help him sooner?
Right.
Cost
was that just too
cutting.
pricey? What?
Cost cutting. Yeah.
Yep. Probably.
It's always those bean counters keeping
But
people
the
drowning.
idea, because I have a very modest independent film career. Career is the wrong word.
You're nude in a lot of it. I don't know if modest is the word.
A film appearance.
But one I had to drive, and they had to film me driving, and then and so it's you think I'm working with this professional crew. They have to think. They have to think of these things. And they put a light right where the speedometer and the thing on it, so they could see my face. And so I had to drive with a light shining in my face.
Yeah.
And they had comms in there and stuff like that, so I could communicate. But when we're filming, I just had to drive and
they didn't stick you on a trailer?
Stop! No, I drove around an actual truck with a light shining in my face.
No,
Sounds safe.
Silly, very dangerous.
That's very dangerous.
Alec Baldwin on this film?
No.
I just,
Yeah.
safety first.
Yeah. But it was, so when I read the thing about they just put a helmet full of fluid in there, you're like, oh. And that's things it's you think people think about stuff and sometimes they don't.
That's the whole thing, and that's what we love talking about. Is that's a angle no one's talking about. I like that.
Yeah.
And this city has so many angles. Come on.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Always.
It's a big business, which is always fun for people. A lot of competing entertainment. That's always fun for people.
That's it. We approach most of our Vegas talk through the entertainment lens. That's our first go-to, as all of us have been involved with Vegas entertainment in some form or fashion for many years, and that's our entry point. What would you?
I've been nipping around those ages for a long time too. I've been here for a while. So, and we do have, we had. I know you have a friend named Troy Hurd.
Yes, we love Troy.
And we had Troy on, and it's like, Troy, explain the theater scene in this town, why people should be interested in this. And he just, he's so great, and just. After 20 minutes, it's like anyone who heard that, if they've never been to a theater production in Las Vegas, they were going the next day. That's how good that was.
He's good. And he's so great. I was actually just sat in on Grace's Who Knows variety show the other night.
Yeah.
It was very funny because
Grace is a very accomplished clown and comedian in town.
And she's doing a variety show. And then I get there, and she's like, I get there at 10, the call. And not knowing much, she's like, doors open at 11:30.
Yeah.
Show will start at midnight. I have you going on close to last because you're a really polished act. And I was like, great.
I'm leaving.
I'm going to go home, sleep, and come back.
Yeah.
No, I actually did go to take a walk to stay up because man, this is going to be a lot. And then she called me. She's like, we're doing a check. Where are you? And I was like, no, I'm literally walking around downtown. Just trying to stay awake. And I laughed because I was like, yes, I tour as a magician. Me going on after actually talented people and then doing magic for people at 1:30 in the morning, is maybe not ideal.
It's a real grab bag show. I love it. But it is hard. Midnight start time in the old days. I know. I'm not there.
I literally had to be
anymore.
up at 7:30 the next morning, and I was this is not my fave. But
you could pregame at the new Pirate Bar.
Oh yeah,
right around the corner. Yeah,
they have good food.
Where at?
The Pirate Bar, the place that none of us can think of the name of it.
Stray Pirate is the Pirate Bar.
Okay,
not the Pirate Bar I'm thinking of. I'm thinking because
I didn't see any food there. If you were eating food there, that
different
might
pirate
not
bar.
have
There
been
are two pirate bars.
Cannibals.
No, there's a pirate bar that's right there next to Rebar.
Davy's Locker.
That's it.
Yeah. I guess that's
more just loose nautical. That's loose nautical. That's not.
Listen to how nice you guys are being. Nautical compromise over here.
Confirmed, the food there is actually quite good.
Yeah.
But I did the show, and it was midnight, so it was show people who came out.
Yeah.
And then, it's Honeycomb, who's the beatboxer from Freestyle Love Spring that stayed in town after they closed.
Oh, that's nice.
And then their jam band, there's three people just doing improvised jamming. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There's these great dancers that came out, and they did improvised dancing that was kick-ass. And it was probably, and I said to Grace, it's probably the most racially diverse show I've ever done.
Yeah.
It was authentically a total
That's why you had to take a walk and really prepare yourself for that.
No, I mean, I'd say it all the time, like magic. I actually, this is what I said when I came on. I said, normally I perform magic either alone or in a lineup with other magicians. So it's very weird to go on to do something fake that I'm doing.
Yeah.
After people who are actually talented.
Yeah.
And so magic in a grab bag environment is a mixed, it's because people don't feel like after seeing a bunch of awesome stuff like dancing and music and drumming and comedy bits to be like, now I'm going to pretend something's happening that isn't. you know, it's just. But I ended up doing well, and it was fine. It was fun.
I'm sure you did fine.
Yeah, I did.
I'm sure there hardly any booing.
No, very few.
Yeah,
one walkout.
Yeah.
But it's only because they just hated me from a previous incident. It had nothing to do with my
It was your dad.
It's my dad.
Yeah.
And I owe him money.
Yeah. I get it.
But I was just like, oh, it's just but this is one of those things where like it wouldn't without Troy and the Majestic kind of always just giving people their shot. Like these cool things wouldn't happen.
No.
Yeah, and I love that they pair up with a lot of the Spiegel World present and past folks.
Oh,
and,
yes.
and it's nice since they do stay in town as well that they have a place to experiment and do fun stuff. And it's been going for a while. And Vegas is cyclical like that. You find these spots that you could see this sort of experimental. I mean, you guys have performed all over. In venues come and gone.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And it's fine. I don't think, Paul, you can speak up for me. I don't think we're why those venues closed, right?
I wasn't suggesting that.
I mean, I can't. We might have closed the Onyx.
Onyx. Oh, man. And it wasn't just whatever was wafting over from the green door?
Nope.
Okay, fair.
We might have closed the Scullery, even though we still had
Scullery.
keys to the place, even after it was no longer the Scullery.
The first time I saw you guys perform was at the Scullery, and
I love that venue.
That was a great
That was
space.
fun venue.
Yeah.
Good charcuterie.
That was it. The charcuterie was to die for.
Very rare to have
Come
like
for the comedy, stay for the charcuterie.
It's very rare to see a bunch of charcuterie plates out and about as you do comedy, but it did work.
Yeah, those were fun times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably my favorite place that any of us have done anything.
We just need
That
to
was
open
fun.
a charcuterie of our own. That's
because
all
of
there is to it.
your buddy Paul, Jeff Hobson stopped by. This is before I was even into magic. Jeff Hobson came by a bucket show and did a bit at the bucket show, which was super fun.
Yeah.
A famous magician.
Isn't that the beauty of Las Vegas, though, is that, you could fit so many things into the weirdest and oddest spaces. And that happens so often. You'll see it just a one-off or whatever. I was putting some shows together not terribly long ago, and I had sort of my run of the El Cortez.
Yeah.
And didn't realize they had like an old ballroom that was there, so we were able to do shows there.
Jacob was just talking highly about the bathrooms there.
It's true. They're very nice.
Yeah.
Nice company.
You know a guy named Puddles Pity Party?
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
I just saw him.
in
I
concert.
just saw him here last week in
so
Pittsburgh. Yeah, he's great.
Right. One of his first shows out of Atlanta as Puddles, because Big Mike has a bunch of different characters that he had in rotation before Puddles really kind of took off. We had some mutual friends who were living in between Nashville and Atlanta, and he's like, "Can you find me some?" And this was very early in his career, I think, before his YouTube videos kind of blew up with the postmodern. I'm like, well, let me talk to my people over at El Cortez. So he did like just the sloppiest fucking great karaoke / whatever show in the parlor, that little weird bar in the middle of El Cortez.
He's such an entertainer.
Yeah. And he just like trouncing through the El Cortez with his lantern and people having no friggin' clue what was going on. But that happens all over. I mean,
it does.
For years, for decades, stuff like that happens.
But that's the only thing about Vegas that gets tough is super alt or super hip does not work here at all.
Oh, it doesn't play. It doesn't make money, but it's so much fun.
But it's fun.
Yeah. Who's someone that you haven't been able to get yet? You want to do a podcast on and you haven't been able to get them yet?
Nick Cage.
Oh, yeah, because he's a resident, right? Most of the year.
He has 6 films that have a Vegas connection.
Yeah.
And I was like, we got to talk to him. What's his take on our city? I want to go through that. But
I saw that heist one he did a couple years ago with
that one is so interesting with Tobey Maguire.
Yes, that was really good. Yeah. That was really good.
And I still think that the Truffle Pig one is secretly Vegas.
Oh, that one's a great one too.
So
Pig is so good.
I think
the best thing about the heist film was at some point Nicolas Cage playing either like a CSI or a police officer. You never really are clear on what he does.
Yeah.
Goes undercover as a busboy at the Four Queens.
Mm-hmm.
and there's no dialogue. It's just this montage that goes on for a really long time of him like cleaning up tables and stuff as he's kind of figuring out where the bounty that they're trying to steal.
Right.
It was so weird a film.
And of course, the most unbelievable part of that is that anyone cleans up anything at the Four Queens. No one's buying that.
There's not been a busboy here
tracks.
since '06.
1906.
That table ain't changed.
Paul, if you're willing to play Nick Cage, we could do David a favor.
Oh,
and
my
just
God.
help him drill.
You got it?
We can help him.
I mean,
him prepare.
I've got. No, my Nick Cage isn't the strongest, but I'll try.
All right.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Cage coming up on City Castle. So he's welcome.
It's great to finally be able to talk.
There you go. I was fooled, and I'm looking right at him.
Yeah.
You're bailing already? You have Nick Cage right now. You can ask him anything.
Any questions?
No, it's all about my executive producer.
I'll tell you. I'll just volunteer straight up what I feel about Vegas.
Nick, let it roll, Nick. I'm just here to listen.
You know, Vegas is the character, so you just let Vegas be Vegas, and then I stand by and say, cut or roll or Vegas or whatever, and it happens. Yeah, magic.
Nick, a couple of years ago, you were caught going in barefoot to some prime rib restaurant where you walked in on the couch and put your feet
That
up,
is
and then they had to
true.
call the police. Do you want to address maybe what was going through your mind during the prime rib incident?
Have you ever experienced callus on leather? No finer feeling, my friend. And I've got couches at home, but there's something to another man's couch. You know what I mean? So that's why I did it. That's why.
Great.
That was
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Nick, of all the places in the world you could live, why do you pick Vegas?
Well, for a time it was a 24/7 town, but now I can't even get my groceries at 3 a.m. So, yeah.
What are you looking for at 3, Nick?
Well, my standard list was eggs, milk, pregnancy test. That was my 3. That was my go-to.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's my Smith's order.
Yeah.
Right on my phone.
I know that in the original Leaving Las Vegas, your character
Oh boy,
drank himself
we're
to
going
death.
there. Okay,
But I've heard that you wrote a sequel. Is that true?
I did. It's called Never Leaving Las Vegas, and it's actually a zombie film. Me, my same character, he infects the homeless of Las Vegas sewers, and we all come up and we rise and we do our thing. Yeah,
I would see that
it's
movie.
me.
TM fucking
Me, Olivia Rodrigo. It's a real thing. It's going to happen. Give it a couple months.
That is our movie.
Elizabeth Shue as the Wizard.
The Wizard.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Only she has the cure.
Yeah.
Turns out it was still booze.
Hunger
the whole
Games.
time.
always booze.
Hunger Games. How about it? Yeah.
I know that wasn't a great addition, but I wanted to get in on that trademark. So
Yeah, no, I understand.
Good.
I understand. Yeah. So besides Nick Cage, anyone else?
I actually wanted to get Elvira on when she was promoting her book because she has a whole Vegas chapter when she was a showgirl over at the Dunes.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go through her day to day.
Yeah.
As you know, and she was 17 when she was doing that.
Yeah.
She lied about her age,
Yep.
and I read the book and I was like, "This is really fascinating. I would love to get into it." And we were unable to nail down Elvira.
Yeah.
I know
yeah,
multiple women in town that lied about their age in order to get into shows like the Follies Bergère when it was at the Tropicana and older shows as well. And it has really
my mother-in-law did just to be a dancer at the Copacabana in New York.
it has really made me realize that these club owners did not give a shit about how old their people were.
or their health, safety, or sexual harassment. Let's just get that straight,
Yeah.
right?
I lied about my age once.
Yeah.
I lied about my age once and then kept working.
Right.
There's not like continually tried to skate around the issue.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really kind of a weird, crazy, amazing thing. Although, I mean, I guess if you can lie about your age to fight in the world wars, like, fuck it, go up and dance on stage.
Well, that's the it's a Vegas tradition, and who's the Jenna Jameson, who famously got her start out here too. She went so far as to not only lie about her age, but she had her brother forcibly pliers off her braces so she could start dancing in the nightclubs out here.
Wow.
Oh, that's made me so uncomfortable.
Matt hates teeth stuff.
Oh, I hate teeth stuff so bad. Oh, the idea of pliers near my teeth. I hate it so much.
Well, I've got bad news for you about our second segment today.
Oh, no.
She was dedicated. She was desperate to get up on that little darling's bar.
All right. Well, the American dream, living the American dream. That's
Now.
right, brothers.
Yeah.
And you're your brother, right? He's like, all right, I will do this. I will take off your braces as your brother.
Yeah, I will undo
Come
thousands
on.
of dollars
Can you
worth
think
of
of a
orthodonture.
single? You have 8 siblings.
I do.
Can you think of a single one of your siblings that would not plier things out of your mouth? Like immediately.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
question. Like, hey, could you get this? Yep.
Why? Because I want to dance naked at a bar.
Yeah.
No
to
quid,
grab
no
some
quid pro
pliers.
quo necessary.
They might say
Here we
no
go.
if you told them that.
No.
So, David,
Well, we
is
also-
there a big event or thing coming up on the horizon that you're like super jazzed about that's coming close? I know end of the year there's all kinds of weird festivities, but
Yeah, we got a lot of nice holiday programming, and we really try to help people figure just how to make the most out of their either visit to Las Vegas, but more so than that, just living day to day.
is Vegas still
we're-
considered a Christmas destination?
I think people come here for everything. I
Right.
mean, that was the whole thing about F1 is like, well, the week before Thanksgiving is traditionally slow because no one will come to Las Vegas. It's almost like they said, last year we made $1 billion in September, $1 billion in October. November we made 0.
Right.
And then December we made $1 billion. So we need this F1. I don't, I know people who come here. Well, National Final Rodeo is around that time too.
Yes.
So people are, look, we're still making over $1 billion. And I love how they call it the gaming win as opposed to the gambler loses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Losses.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so it's like, today gamblers lost $1 billion. And it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Are they okay?
But even today,
Are they doing all right? Because I get the casinos are happy, but are there a lot of sad people out there?
I've lived here for 16 years. I am still shocked every time somebody sits me down and explains to me how much a slot machine makes in like a week.
Sure. Wouldn't it be great? And here's another guest we
like, I
want to
want to
have
get
on.
like one. Can I just have a slot
Yeah,
machine?
that's all
Am I
you want.
allowed
Well,
to-
that's
really
the whole
true.
point. We want to have on the superintendent of schools because he's always under fire, newsmaker. And we love having newsmakers on, and that's always fun. But if you had, like in every casino, one slot machine that was dedicated, and it literally said on top,
Just for schools.
schools.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't they do something like that?
What? Well, why don't
I mean,
we?
I get they get
Do you
a
think we could
percentage
start
of
like a
general
letter writing
taxes.
campaign or something? Like, I mean,
I know,
seriously,
but
though.
what would the theme of this for the school's slot
It
machine
could be the smarter than a fifth grader theme.
I think if you line up 49s in a row, because we're the 49th in schools, so we should,
Right.
the 50 states, we can just do that. We can line that
Something
up.
in maybe a Dead Poets Society.
Yeah,
Could be
yeah.
that.
Robin
Yeah.
Williams being shticky, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
also,
But it's Wayne Newton.
but it's
Same speech.
yeah,
or it could be cannabis themed and call it higher education.
nice.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. It seems like we always pass stuff that says blank will go to education, and I feel like it somehow doesn't happen.
Baseball field.
The
Yeah.
cannabis.
We talked a lot about the A's too.
All
so,
of the cannabis
yeah.
laws seems like they're supposed to go to the schools, and they don't.
No, the money's going there. It's just the question is, why are we still not thriving? And it could be because it's so big. It could be a million different things. I just don't know that we talk enough about it because it's always either, who's in charge or how much money and no other real discussion and just about
Right,
just the quality of education or why.
Weirdly, the superintendent of schools won't come on this show. I don't know why. So I have to ask you this question, and that is,
Jacob, I'm willing to have Paul play the superintendent of schools if you want to practice
Good.
answering
Paul,
questions.
Can you do a good Jara? You got that one wild.
How's your
I think it's
Jesus-
the same as
how's your
Nick
Jesus
Cage.
jar?
It was going to be the same as Nick Cage.
Yeah.
I've been told that Nevada ranks so low because we're such a transient state, especially Vegas is a transient city.
Yeah.
And so when a child starts schooling in Vegas and then doesn't graduate high school, that counts
hits our
as like
stats.
an incomplete.
And
Is that true? Is there anything to that? Is that the big thing? What is that?
I'd imagine that's one of the metrics. I think we also have like an inordinately high population of kids who are homeless who are going to elementary school, so they're always moving around or middle school or high school, and that's something we don't talk a lot about. Like, where are these kids going to school? Because there are so many on the streets, and they
Because it's
cycle in and out.
heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking, but it's important because if you're not figuring that out, you're not getting to the solutions. And I don't know. The thing about it's all these distractions. Have you ever watched the school board meeting lately in Las Vegas? That is high comedy.
Yes.
That's always
the
great.
superintendent's accused of having a burner account where he goes after his enemies with like these weird misogynistic digs and shit.
Right, throwdowns.
And then so there was
and then the next week it turns out it was true.
Well, that's the thing. It's like there was like some social media account that went CSI on it, and then they like went through all of his tweets for like all this time and all the tweets for the what they called the burner account. And they were matching it up, and I mean it was really they were going through it. And then
we found the same thing here locally with Matt Canada. Believe it or not, he had taken out a pro Matt Canada Twitter feed before he got the sack. Yes, that guy was.
That's the fired offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes,
fair.
Who was fired mid-season.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Paul is the biggest sports fan in the room.
I didn't make big mention of it last recording, but I do need to say, did you guys see the results of the first game back under new guidance?
You scored 16 points
and 400 offensive yards as compared to like in the teens.
No.
16 points is not
16 points
high.
is bad.
16 points is not a lot of points.
It was not talking about the battle on the field. It was
Exactly.
It was not a
rewarding to
resurgent story, Paul. No matter how you want to spin it, it just wasn't.
As someone with George Pickens on both my fantasy teams, it was not a resurgent story.
We'll talk when the season finale pops up or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to bet on the Steelers winning some playoff games, Paul?
Yes,
Because I'll take that bet.
Okay, you'll take my money.
We don't have to take this off air. I take the bet.
Yeah.
Whatever the bet is.
Whatever you want to bet on the Steelers winning playoff games. Bet accepted.
But yeah,
Kevin Durant admitted to having like 3 burner accounts. He didn't even have one. He had to rotate it.
But this is
And
the
2
kind
of
of
them were
stuff.
Matt Canada.
But it's like you said, this is all that a school board meeting is it's high school gossip, not anybody addressing any real problems, right?
Exactly. And then you inject these Moms for Liberty.
Oh my God! Did you see all the latest fallout on that
Someone
group?
Oh my God, that's amazing.
With something fun.
Did you see? There was
teaching
something fun,
perversion
Matt.
to our kids,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they're in a weird throuple where
Yep.
there's now sexual assault.
It's
God bless them all.
It's a real festival
God bless
of bullshit.
hypocrisy.
I'll tell you who
Love
else is in not weird thruples at all, just normal, everyday, very pleasant thruples. And that is the following sponsor.
Define a regular throuple, Jacob.
Oh, it's just a thruple where you have a nice regulator there just controlling the flow of oxygen.
Today's show is brought to you by ketchup-flavored coffee shoes.
Ooh.
That's right. Ketchup-flavored coffee shoes from Hojack.
Hey everybody, Nick Cage here. Coming in, talking about coffee. You thirsty? I am. I'm thirsty for life, right? But I'm also thirsty for coffee. So I take off my shoe. I'm drinking coffee out of it because that's the new thing, but it's not got enough ketchup flavor for me. I'm infusing my shoes with ketchup and coffee. That's what's going on. Coffee flavored ketchup shoes. Delicious. It's my new Gone in 60 Seconds coffee flavored ketchup shoes. Guaranteed you can't drink it in more than a minute. You're so thirsty. You forgot about Gone in 60 Seconds? That was my star turn with Angelina Jolie.
Enter Hey Scoops to check out.
Delicious. Caffeinated ketchup.
No, that
There's a
was
market
like
there.
I think Gone in 60 Seconds, the Nick Cage one was the first of the let's take a movie that bombed and remake it into a movie that also bombs.
Yeah.
Wicker Man.
Yeah, that was on the list
There
too.
wasn't a bomb at the first one.
The first
Yeah,
one was
cult classic.
Cult classic.
And I don't mean like Nick Cage doing that, doing the movie that bombed,
You just mean
with a movie that bombed.
studios.
It kind of started a trend.
Well, I think it's an engineered failure kind of thing, right? At this point, now we're seeing how they're writing off movies
We're
whole
just seeing
cloth.
the write-offs.
Yeah, it's just this is what they do now. They just make movies and never show them and make $1 million.
Paul, because I have conversations with you that my phone listens to, I got a news alert the other day that apparently the Masters of the Universe movie is getting picked up by Netflix.
No, it lost its funding at Netflix. Amazon.
Okay.
Amazon
There
is
you go.
talking about grabbing it now. Yes.
There we go.
Every time those news articles pop up in my on my phone, I think bad things about you.
Well, that's fine. You keep thinking bad things. Meanwhile, I'll be enjoying my brand new He-Man cartoon collection version from the Masters Universe Origin lines. Hitting store shelves now. Get it while it's hot. Get it while it's He-Man.
Get it while it's He-Man. It's probably our episode title.
It is my birthday today. I've been getting lots of lovely.
That's right.
Birthday,
He-Man,
Paul.
As we're recording,
Yeah,
your birthday.
I've been getting all kinds of cool He-Man
Dedication.
gifts and things through the interwebs and whatnot. Carl and Amy actually stopped by. Scoops, Carl and Amy, Dippin' Dot Jack's parental units, stopped by briefly on their way up to Michigan to go visit other Scoops, Christine and Brock, and they got to see the basement and hang out for a few minutes while they were on their way to their final
That reminds
destination.
me, if you are a Patreon at any level, you are welcome to stop by Paul's house.
You know what? I'm going to put it out there. If you're a Patreon of $10 or more, you can stop by my house for 10 minutes.
Unannounced.
Not
$1
unannounced.
a minute.
Very low
Unannounced.
threshold.
But I will give you a 10-minute tour of my house if you are a $10 or more Patreon and want to
The
come by my
10-minute
house.
tour makes sense. The 10-minute limit was really weird because you have to like really get them in and like get to be very fast.
Yeah.
but
No,
if it's just
it's going to
10-minute
be
tour,
that's the limit because it could be too crazy.
At the
10
end of
minutes.
the tour, he just gives you the boot.
Yeah, and it has
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
You have to have been at that level for at least 6 months.
you should make it. Who the fuck's gonna check that?
You're not
Me.
checking
You're
that.
not
Nobody's
checking
checking
that.
that.
I'll check
You gonna
it.
check that?
You're not checking that.
I'm out here making empty
I think
promises.
you make them take out their own phone. You have them put a 10-minute timer on it. They push start. And
Yes.
then you walk them around. As soon as the alarm goes off, they have to run out of the house.
That's right. That's right.
Release the hounds.
I mean, if they run out of the house, they might get
If they
eaten by
stop
one
to
of my
pet the
dogs.
dog, and another dog comes up, and you pet the other dog, and then boop, doesn't matter. The
You're
timer
burning
goes
time.
off.
You're burning
That's it.
time. Yeah, Adora will eat up 10 minutes of your time in no time. She is an attention-starved hound, that little pup.
Well, happy birthday, Paul.
Thank you.
Yes.
Do you have any big plans?
We ordered pizza. Anne has to go to bed extremely early. So,
Great.
I actually...
Celebrate good times. Come on.
I'm gonna fuck a pizza box.
Yeah. The last 2 days have basically been me indulging in Zelda for inordinate amounts of time. I hadn't had a chance to really get back into
What the
Tears of
kids
the
are calling
Kingdom.
masturbation.
Yeah, so I mean, there's that too.
Indulging in Zelda.
But yeah, some marathon like 4-hour, 5-hour sessions of Zelda. It's good times. That's a birthday
you
celebration
go.
for me.
There you go. Send that to 20-year-old Paul. Let him know what was happening 20 years ago.
He was playing 5-hour sessions. It was his Ocarina of Time one now. That's all it is. It's just the same shit, man. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed but the tech, baby. Bigger TV, more comfortable couch. I'm okay with that.
Now, birthday pizza. I thought there was no good pizza near you.
No, it's Domino's. But
Oh, okay.
yeah. But
All right.
it was a matter
Birthday
of time.
bad
Also,
pizza.
Anne had a work emergency, so she had to go drive, and then Carl and Amy came up, and so we had to just schedule stuff around. So I just grabbed a quick bite, and then So and also I've been losing weight, trying. It's working.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go not too crazy until my doctor's appointment, which is Wednesday,
Right.
for my hip surgery. So I don't want to
There
break
you
the
go.
bank yet. After that, we
Break
might
the
go
food
out for
bank.
we might go out for a
Break the
proper
bank.
meal.
He's going to eat all the canned
Break
food.
the food bank. I'm going to go in there.
He's going to eat all the canned food that he would have given to the food bank
I
otherwise.
demand
filling.
all your pumpkin pie filling now. All your out of date pumpkin pie filling will be mine. Food bank glug.
Bite the side of the can like a vampire.
Oh God.
Give me that.
Oh, speaking of pumpkin pie filling, Anne today goes, hey, as she's leaving to go and drop keys off at this far-flung Starbucks, it's like, hey, do me a favor. Carl and Amy are coming over. Could you please take the rotting pumpkin off the front porch? And I'm like, first of all, I didn't buy the pumpkin. Second of all, I didn't know it was rotting. I go over and, in Vegas, a pumpkin goes to hell.
It'll last.
No.
But not.
No.
No, the desert is unforgiving.
Oh, the one that we put out kind of mummified.
Well,
Oh, okay.
maybe if
I
you
guess
don't
it
cut
rotted.
into it.
Yeah.
Did you cut into it?
Yeah.
Okay, but it's
What are you doing over there, Jacob? You have weird
got-
zombie pumpkins.
Like we really kind of scraped it out. Maybe that was it.
That might be it. If you really,
Ours-
I don't know. But
Ours
anyway,
gets sad and dark with shit really fast.
this one
Our
had not
pumpkins.
been.
Yeah, the last ones we put out just mummified.
This one hadn't been cut in jack-o'-lantern style. It was just a solid pumpkin, but it had kind of melted, and it was
Oh,
basically
yeah.
the consistency of a balloon. It was the grossest thing
Heavy
I've
balloon.
ever. It was a heavy pumpkin balloon.
Heavy, smelly balloon.
It was.
And that's
I
not
was
your
like,
doctor talking to you. That's we're talking about
And
the
I was
pumpkin
like,
there.
oh, this is awful. So I ran it back into the backyard and tossed it onto the compost heap. So with any luck, a little luck from nature, we might have some compost heap pumpkins next year.
What's the latest on the food scene? What have you reported on the food scene, David?
Let's see. Oh, we were talking about how you could blow an entire paycheck on.
I was really
one
wondering where
meal.
that sentence was going.
Yeah,
Oh, by the way,
Figured out how you could blow a entire paycheck.
on
the
one meal.
expensive 138 Steakhouse in my neck of the woods that I went to with the rabbit carcass on display went out of business.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Do you think
So
Big
now-
Rabbit took him down?
So now I have to put rabbit carcass into Yelp to see what other place I can go to for the same experience.
House and pfeffer.
We are really liking what's going on in the Arts District. Obviously, things popping up all the time, and just people really, ramping up. Esther's is going to turn
It's to
into
move to a giant location.
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
180
that's good. That's a good
Yeah.
spot.
The 90s heart of me wants to call him a sellout and say the food won't be the same. But I think
Well, they got
they're
another
doing the right
concept
thing.
that's going in the old space, and then there's a French restaurant that's opening up. Main Street Provisions is amazing. There's a lot of good stuff that's happening. We often sing the praises of places like EDO. If you've ever been there, oh, that tapas place. So I'm not going to say underrated because everyone who knows it's probably one of the best restaurants in all Las Vegas.
Well, it's recently officially rated. It was in the top 25 restaurants in the nation.
Yeah. So it was nice that we got to talk about it, and then they're finally getting some of the accolades that they so long deserve. So yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Also, Martha Stewart's Bedford restaurant.
Oh, my wife is so desperate to go.
Because the whole house looks like a New York farmhouse.
Yeah,
we went.
It's a whole different aesthetic.
She can't
We
wait.
went.
She loves it. She can't wait.
We got some coops for that one. Some players card stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then
Coops was short for coupons.
coupons.
Oh, I thought you were saying comps in a really weird way.
Oh, that would be a weird way to say comps. Yeah, I'm gonna try
I
that.
got cooped this dinner.
I thought the same thing.
I'm sorry.
was like,
that was
oops.
misdirection. I'm going to say this. The food was good. I don't know if it's a value for the amount of money that you'd have to normally spend, but the service was exemplary.
Oh, really?
They really took care of us. And I don't know if they figured out we were locals or what the story was. I mean, because
But that matters, though. It's really
That
hard
matters
to
a
find.
lot.
they took care of business. We actually
Yeah.
had trouble getting seated. There was like a mix up with the reservation or whatever. And then they're like, look, we're going to make it up for you. First round of appetizers is all on us. And
Wow.
then they sent over a round of drinks as well. It was like, you can't
Whoa.
beat that. That's old school Vegas service.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
That's
was impressive. And the
remarkable.
food was good. It was really good. I just don't know if it's
The
at that
atmosphere is
level.
unique.
I mean, you're in the Paris,
Okay.
Yeah.
which, has
I've heard of it.
its limitations.
What is my biggest pet peeve in Vegas, especially like Vegas high-end dining, is when you go in, you're spending the money on it, because I mean, you can easily spend hundreds of dollars.
You could go thousands.
You can go thousands of dollars, in a lot of these high-end Vegas restaurants.
Tens of I just want to keep going.
Billions.
Tens of
Come for F1, you spend $1 million for a burger.
Yeah. My biggest pet peeve, though, with Vegas fine dining is when you go in and it is that price point, but the meal is it's good, but it's just good.
Yeah.
What do you have any? Do you have any like that you really kind of
the biggest disappointment? And I was probably the last man standing to celebrate the Circus Steakhouse, but it's lost me too.
Yeah,
just not a value on any level.
Fair
for what
enough.
you're paying. It's just you're not getting something that's so go to Golden Steer. Go
a
one of
few
the
of
other
my old school Vegas friends still really just crow about the steakhouse at Circus.
I love Circus. I will still defend Circus.
Yeah.
I will die on the hill that Circus belongs as is forever. Everyone's like, when's it going to be imploded? And I will strap my body to the big top. But that steakhouse is not great.
Yeah, I mean for years and years it was the best steakhouse in town.
It was awesome. So
Do you think it's not
we
as
don't
good
love
now?
talking about the decline of stuff. We like talking about the ascension, but sometimes we'll get some good shit in there on the pod about, that place
So
sucks
we
now.
can't talk about the Rio then.
Well, I mean, we had a little. We were doing 1-star reviews the other day. Like we would, our executive producer, Sonia Jo Swanson, hooray! She would read us these 1-star reviews that were left on Yelp or Google, whatever, and we'd have to. Sarah Lohman and I would guess like what are they talking about?
Oh,
and
that's a fun game.
That was really fun.
Can you have her do that for us?
Sure. She'll do that. No, it was a really good episode. And sometimes we have Corey Levithan come on and talk about Vegas myths, whether they're true or false.
Oh, Corey's great at those.
Yeah, Corey's great at
Corey.
So at the end, we're like, well, would you ever leave a 1-star in Vegas? And then our producer was like, well, I'm going to get some. I don't want to give a 1-star to anyone. I would give 2 at a minimum, but Batista's just sucked.
Oh, no.
She went after it. She's like, I love the accordion guy going around. He's the best, but the food was just like Costco.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So they went after it.
Harley's is good for another 40 years. Fuck you.
Fuck you. We're an
It
old
turned out
school
that all of
family.
those 1-star reviews were
We'll
from
never
Sonia.
not be
Secretly,
Ouch.
best place to Uber to for F1.
Oh, yeah.
Before they close down the strip. If you're
Oh,
running
I
the strip
bet.
before 5.
I bet.
Slide into hole in the wall.
You can
huh?
walk it anywhere in F1.
I mean, I have fond memories of being a youngster going over there, but I haven't been back in a long time.
I was surprised at how expensive it was. I found
I
the
think that was part
Italian
of her
meal to
thing,
be.
too. Yeah.
I found the Italian meal there because I was snuck out there a couple times working for Piff during a long day.
Oh, sure.
I would go eat dinner at Batista's and go back. That was my idea of fresh air.
Yeah.
And if you sat at the bar, it was slightly cheaper.
There's no fresh air in that area.
No, there just isn't.
Was the stage doors right next to that over?
Yeah.
What is next? Yes.
It's that stage door weird thing, whatever that place
liquor
is.
store with the bar in the
Liquor
back.
and hot
Yes.
dogs.
Shady. Yeah,
Liquor and hot dogs. Vegas.
Liquor
Old
hot
Vegas.
dogs.
Old Vegas.
But it was like if you want like the most stereotypical like atmosphere and Italian food, it was that.
Yeah,
Right.
But
no,
just-
and she noted that atmosphere
Yeah.
was great. Food was not her fave.
Yeah.
But that's fun to do, And we try to explore all the different things, different kind of ethnics. We did a whole thing about the Ethiopian community and all the food restaurants and stuff like that. So you do get a. I know you guys are really super focused on entertainment here, and you do a great job talking about all the different people.
Thank you.
This is why we brought him on.
No one does it better than ICS. I believe it says it in our jingle.
Yep.
We'll take the accolade.
And we dabble in all the different parts. So we'd love to have you guys come on and just talk about the lens of Paul and Matt.
All right. Well,
We're setting it up.
We'll talk to our agent. Jacob, should we do it?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to do it.
Fantastic.
All right. See,
It's a
that's
go.
going to be exciting.
Good.
That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. I enjoyed being on their show, and I'm looking forward to them coming on ours. The podcast revolution has hit our city, so make sure you tell a friend it's time for them to dive into podcast listening too. They could start with us. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our amazing morning newsletter. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Till then, stay lucky.